Hi, I'm Matt. This is Kandyse. You're watching the BSGcast. Thanks for joining us. First off, although your character didn't make it all the way to the ending, what did you think of the finale?
I didn't know you were going to ask me that. I have a confession to make, and I really hope the BSG fans out there aren't going to be too angry with me. I apologize because it was kind of a personal choice. I haven't actually seen the ending.
Really?
I have the DVDs. I have the whole, from the miniseries to season 4.5, and I'm going to watch them. I want to watch them from the miniseries all the way to the end.
Oh.
Ron really kind of had this vision for it to be this 4-year movie, as it were. And, at first it was just too emotional for me. It was just, I know, I'm kind of a small person for making this choice, I think, but it was just really difficult for me because I wasn't there, because I didn't get to say goodbye to everybody.
Well, yeah, Dualla's suicide was such a shocker at that point, and I
just had to leave, I actually just had to, I just have to walk away from BSG and take a breather before I can go back and re-engage, or else I would literally be crying every time I saw something.
Oh, man.
I was like, I don't know if I can cry through 3 DVDs.
That's a lot of crying. Jeez, okay.
I just gotta take a deep breath now. And then I'm gonna really enjoy watching the ending.
Well, I think so. Your character went from being like a minor character in the miniseries to being an Adama over the course of the series. So, how does that arc, I guess, of the first 3 seasons make you feel?
Oh my gosh. Flattered, excited. Again, I didn't think I would make it past the miniseries. The show, whereas I think they had kind of an overview, an idea, but it's like it was a very organic process. They'd see what you were doing, they would watch things and pick little things up and try this and move back another way. And sometimes I didn't always understand what they were doing. Mm-hmm. Not for me to understand, I just show up and do the work. But I remember little things, that first scene that I had with Admiral Adama, where I actually got to say something. I had this monologue and I was like, oh, this is exciting. The first time I got to leave my station.
Yeah.
I was like, I get to walk around the ship. And then, incrementally, I get a gun. You get to see Dualla in her military presence.
Mm-hmm.
She goes and rescues hotshot Kara Thrace, and then I get to marry Apollo. It's like, all right. Gosh, what a chore.
I
guess I'll have to make out with him.
Wow. It's a pretty serious journey. Wow, so that should be a pretty fun ride for you to go through.
Absolutely. And because she was a minor character in the beginning, I didn't really have a character Bible, they call it, at the beginning of the show, where some of the other characters, you got a little more background on them. You sort of could glean where they were possibly going to go, although it was a surprise to us along the way. Dualla was one of those characters that I was really figuring out and making up, in a way, script by script. I'd get a new script and I'd go, oh, she made this choice, it's this idea, so I'd have to sort of layer it in and have it make sense with everything else I'd done before.
So as you're playing this character, are you kind of building your own backstory to explain what could have made a person that would make this choice or that choice?
Absolutely. Okay. You get little clues. Her father was in the military. Her father was not in the military. Her father was a resistance fighter on Sagittarius, and a culture of resistance. Yeah. And she made this choice to join the military. She crossed over to the other side. So she's a person who wants to make decisions for herself, who wants more than where she came from. And there was an episode where it was focused more so on the Sagittarians, that they came on board and they got the disease and stuff like that. So here you saw some of Dualla's background there, but that wasn't necessarily information that I got beforehand.
Wow, that's fun. Okay.
Or maybe, I don't know. Maybe I didn't, it was there and I didn't read it, or I don't know.
Well, it's funny, because without having backstory to that character, then that leads an interesting idea. Before the final 5 were revealed, were you sitting there thinking, well, my character could be a Cylon? Was there any point where you thought, I could totally be a Cylon. I might be playing a Cylon all along.
You're hopeful of it, of course. You're like, yes, I get to be a Cylon. I tend to sort of stay off the fan forums and things like that, but a couple of people would come up to me and go, "You're totally a Cylon."
Awesome.
Like, here's these clues, you know, your right hand to Adama, your name means resurrection.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
this and that and the other thing. And, you know, I imagine that all our names were tossed around in the writing room just to see how it would fit or how storylines would go. But, I mean, of course you want to be Cylon.
That's awesome. Cool. Well, it's good to hear. Now, have you seen Caprica yet? Have you seen that?
No.
No? Interesting. Yeah, because we've heard a lot of people who are like, you know, building this character's like the space between when we see them in Battlestar and when we see them before, because there are a few actors and characters that are overlapping. So it's kind of interesting to think what Dualla's history could far enough back. You know, where the Sagittarians fall in. Because the interesting thing is you've got Taurons that are like a huge part of Caprica because it's sort of showing Adama's backstory and where they come from. But it would be interesting to see.
And Pycon and
it would be very interesting to see if the Dualla family pops up in Caprica. You never know. So
I gotta start watching more TV, man.
There's always more TV. So enough about Dualla. What is Kandyse McClure up to?
Oh my gosh. Well, enjoying DragonCon.
There's always that.
This is my first time here. I'm actually just started shooting a movie, name dropper. Brett Ratner is producing, the director from the 2 previous Saw films. We've got Jamie King, we've got Deborah Ann Woll from True Blood, we've got actually a really great little
cool
cast. Yeah. And I'm pretty excited about it. It's, you know, I hesitate to say horror, but
they do have the director from Saw, so it could go down a certain.
And there is that element to it, but I think I really think he's trying to, in the way that Battlestar made a space program that was focused on relationships and emotional content. It looks as if this is what he's trying to do with this film.
Cool.
It's a horror film, but he wants to put you in the position of the people in witnessing the horror and not, you know, just there for the sensation. Children of the Corn comes out on September 26th on Sci-Fi.
Important.
And in fact, the original showrunner, Remy Aubuchon from Caprica, I worked with him on a show called Persons Unknown that just was bought by NBC.
Cool.
So hopefully you'll see me, Alan Ruck, Tina Holmes, another great little ensemble cast running around. I look crazy. I have cornrows, I have tattoos.
Wicked.
Totally, I'm not Dualla.
That's a hell of a look. All right, cool. Well, we'll keep an eye out for that too.
Awesome, thank you.
Kandyse, thank you so much for your time. It was great having you here, and there's plenty more to do at DragonCon.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thanks.